Good morning and welcome along to AardvarkJoke,
Episode 17.
I'm joined this week by Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, how are you? What have you been up to this week?
Hello, I've had another very busy week edging. I've been measuring bits of string to try and work out how long a piece of string actually is.
And on the podcast this week, we're going to be looking at the topic of war. Who is it good for? Because everyone always asks war, what is it good for? Because James Brown writes catchy, memorable lyrics, and people like to regurgitate that to sound intelligent. But no one ever asks, who is it good for? If you think back to learning English at school, you may have had to do the series of questions: who, what, when, where, why, and of course, how. How is it good for? It doesn't scan grammatically. So we're going to be asking war, who is it good for? There's a few obvious ones you can start off with this. Number one, funeral directors, obviously a pretty obvious boom to their business.
Yeah.
Number two, I think often forgotten, history teachers. I think.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? If you're doing a history at school, it goes 1991, Soviet Union ends. At 1995, NATO turns up in Kosovo. It's like, so what happened to 92 to 94? And it's go, there was no history. Stop asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So without some stuff like this, history teachers might run out of history to teach, and then they might be on the breadline. They'll be unemployed, so that's no good for them.
Exactly.
Landscape gardeners, if you think back to pictures of the Somme, it was pretty muddy, lots of sort of hills and craters and burrows. Now it looks lovely. It's obviously a big boom for the landscape gardening industry in the interim years. And then on a similar theme, or just generic sort of civic construction, so be that bridges or roads next to bridges, or making sure the river can still go under the bridge.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, bridge-related anecdotes.
I guess also people who diffuse ordnance.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Which is sometimes quite a niche industry.
Yeah. But yeah, I've also had another couple of thoughts of some topics that might work well in your joke.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've obviously got war reporters, unemployed most of the time. But not just war reporters. You've got war cameramen and war cameramen ladies and war camera ladies and war camera lady men. Also, the people who train the war reporters and camera people to work in hostile environments, and also those out-of-work actors that they employ as well to be generic baddies.
Good point, because there'll obviously be a few films made about it in the near future.
Well, see also people who make film biopics, such as Pearl Harbor, such as Saving Private Ryan, such as Hacksaw Ridge.
I was going to pause there, because the war film industry is an interesting one, because there's a lot of super high budget A-list kind of things like Saving Private Ryan, and then on the TV side of things, Band of Brothers is probably going to, if there's a list of top 100 TV shows of all time, I imagine Band of Brothers will be in there, and then it's sort of a successful sibling Pacific is good as well. But there's a lot of B-grade war films made as well. There's a lot of lower quality stuff that comes out about generic wars. So it's good for both, the people at the top of their craft and people very much in the middle.
But just to clarify, is that they're not just really good films, but about crap wars?
Yes, yeah. Although there probably are some of those as well.
And vice versa. Yeah, okay. But yeah, definitely filmmakers as well, because again, like the history teachers, they're just going to need more content.
Yeah, because in the world of YouTube, as soon as there's some YouTube drama, people can report on the drama. The reaction video people can make my reaction to. I mean, that's probably how millennials will do it. My reaction to X country storming Y country. And they'll, the thumbnail will be them looking like that Scream photo that Van Gogh did of being so shocked at air power and the number of tanks rolling across some sort of fence line.
Oh,
someone will stream it on Twitch.
Just saw someone else actually. You talk about tanks rolling across. Big flag. All these tanks have flags on.
True. The paint industry. If you make army-coloured green paint, it might be boom time.
Yeah. Or UN white.
Yeah. There's normally some peacekeeping operations around a border somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, also the people who make the specific blue bulletproof vests for the war reporters because they press on them.
Yeah, that's a good shout, because most of the time, obviously, they'll just be making camouflage colour body armour for the military. This time they've got to make the least tactical colour imaginable. Like, the only way it'd be worse is they have to make high-vis body armour. Can we get it in yellow and orange with some reflective stripes across the front?
But then they could go, well, it's a limited edition run. That's going to put the price up. But I think fundamentally, I think the people who war is the best for are lazy people. Because it's the perfect excuse. Like, you're at school, you haven't done your homework. Sorry, miss, I haven't done my homework. There's a war on.
Yeah, genius. Because
also, why are you people who are late for work? Why are you late for work? Sorry, there's a war on.
Yeah. Yeah, the policeman said I had to stop for 15 minutes, so I did. I had to turn up to work a bit late. Little does your boss know, you didn't see any policemen.
Exactly.
Good for slacking off. And also, if you are lazy and say hadn't bothered to apply for any jobs and your CV was out of date, on the back of a big war, companies might be an employer's market, so an employee's market, not an employer's market. So they might be headhunting you. You know, your CV was out of date. It didn't mention that you were proficient in Word and Excel. The company will be ringing you up saying, "Please work for us." So it saves people a lot of hassle, because applying for jobs is never fun, is it?
No, not fun.
Most of the time, the company just mugs you off, doesn't get back to you. So
exactly. So we're also probably saying good for headhunters, and also going on the filmmaking scene. I reckon it's probably quite good for the actors who play soldiers or sailors or air personnel in the Army, Navy, and Air Force adverts.
A lot of those actors are regularly typecast as well.
I don't know, but do you reckon, like, the CV, they could go, yeah, well, I did do this Army advert where I did some press ups. Well, you could probably do press ups in this Navy advert.
Yeah, actors who are very good at shouting, because almost every war film involves a basic training scene.
Awesome, yes, because then they could also boost their portfolio for the subsequent biopic.
There's a lot here. I think what inspired me on this topic was obviously current events, but also the fact that whenever there is, talk of armed conflict and the general horrors it contains, there's always like one or two people who go, "Oh well, X group of people will be all over this," and that's normally like either big business or that is always a point that comes up. So there's an assumption that someone is profiting off of whatever happens. So
I've just thought of someone
obviously
else.
In this case, that being podcasters.
Yes, or big cartographers. Because if the war's somewhere where you haven't heard of, I reckon a lot of people are going to buy an atlas or a map and go, "Oh, that's where so and so is." Yeah,
big map. It's an interesting point actually, because on the UK, obviously, Ordnance Survey does a pretty good job, and there's lots of, because of the Empire and the Commonwealth, there's lots of Ordnance Survey equivalent industries in lots of countries.
I just thought you were calling for the Ordnance Survey would be calling for Civil War II, The Empire Strikes Back.
No. But there are places in the world where you can't get a 1 to 25,000 scale map with a pink border, or 1 to 50 with a pink border, 1 to 25 with an orange border. So if you turn up at some country and they've only got 1 to 40,000 mapping available, like, everyone's going to be so confused. There'll be ramblers all over the shop getting lost.
Good way to stop an invasion, probably.
Probably is actually, yeah. Just don't produce any maps. Or produce maps with the stuff in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So say like city full of gold and leaders, and actually it's just full of mines. I mean, if anything, this is something we haven't encountered before on the podcast. We've not got too much to write a joke with.
Is there such a thing as an opening monologue in your stand-up gigs?
Maybe that's it. All right, what we'll do is we'll pause there.
You're going to enter your monologue writing space this time.
Quite possibly.
4 years and 37 minutes later.
War. What is it good for? An interesting question, but not as specific as who is it good for. Obvious answers include funeral directors or B-grade actors for future war films about the war. On a personal level, though, I think the real winners are those in the ancillary business. Obviously, sales of flags are going up due to the requisite amount of burning massively increasing, but specifically, makers of light blue paint, both for UN and press body armour. Admittedly, light blue body armour, very much for high visibility of the body armour world, a situation in which you normally want to hide, or not be able to believe the amount of money they're raking in.
I like it. Very good. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Aardvark joke.
Episode 17.
Peterson, is there anything you would like to add?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again next time. Goodbye.